Welcome to the channel. Today we will be looking at continuous integration and continuous delivery using Tekton, and we will publish a Java library from local to GCP artifact registry. Now Tekton has the various parts, and if you want to know the basic understanding of the Tekton, I have mentioned in the description. You need to look the other videos where I have explained tasks, pipelines, what is task run, what is pipeline runs, and how Tektons works, what is the concept behind the Tekton. So we will use the Tekton and we will leverage on the Tekton concepts like tags, pipeline and pipeline run to publish a Java library from a local to a GCP artifact registry. Now this is the same concept as we do when we download a library from a Maven Center. We're gonna do the same thing, but this time it's like from the GCP container registry, because if you have an internal library on your company, you don't want to publish it publicly so that other persons will not consume it. It's internal to your project only. Those libraries are meant to be in private repositories, and we will use a GCP Cloud Private Registry for that, and we will publish one of the libraries. So basic structure and how the flow will be that we have a Tekton in which we will run a pipeline. That pipeline will clone a Git repo from Bitbucket URL. I'll show you how we can go step by step on this process. Then after the Tekton, when it's completed its clone, it's gonna build like how we do a Java build project. If you are using Gradle, you're gonna do Gradle build, and if you are using Maven, then you're gonna use Maven clean. So after the build, we have some unit test case. So we want to run that unit test case before it gets published. So all the unit test cases should pass. So we have a command which will use Gradle test with our pipeline, and it will test all the applications. Then it's gonna create a Java jar file, because in Java you can create a war file as well as jar file. Then we will use a Gradle publish command like Gradle publish, and we will give all GCP instances and security service accounts. We will register that one, and finally it will publish to GCP. Okay, let's get started. Now to work with Kubernetes and Tekton, you need to first have a Kubernetes cluster, and if you are working locally, you need to have Minikube installed on your Docker container, because on the local environment, Docker can help you to replicate the same thing as Kubernetes, and it has only one cluster. So in local, you need to install Minikube, and if you are using GCP, because this example is basically GCP when we want to publish, so you need to create one of the cluster, and you can use GCP the free trial for one, whichever you want. So you need to have one cluster installed, and once the cluster is installed, you need to get connected with this command. When you click on this connect, and you will get this one. So once you are connected with the once you have created it in GCP cluster, you need to get connected to this one. Just copy and paste, and for that you need to export your credentials, service account credentials using this command. Then only it gets started with that one. So for the Tekton, we have a concept of tasks, pipeline, task run, and pipeline run. So for the tasks, we have different things. So if you want to get a task from Tekton Hub, there are lots of tasks available because lots of communities are working. So if in our case, I need a Git task and I need a Gradle task. So I just copied a Gradle task from here, and because I have a service account that I want to link GCP, and if you check the YAML file of this one, there is nothing related to a service account, so I need to modify this tags. So if you check my code, it is exactly the same Gradle command that I have copied from there. The only difference I have is I have introduced a service account to over here. So if you check the parameter known as the Google credential, it is value from it is taking a value from GCP secret. Now for the GCP secret, you need to install a GCP service. You need to create a service account and you link that service account to a GCP instance. So once you have these things, and you need to mount that one, because in Kubernetes pod you need to exactly mount what you want to want. This is the secret name. So once you are mounting this one, and these are the basic command like GCP secret, and this is the location of the file where that service account holds that key. This is in the pod container location, and you are saying read only to true, and you need to have exactly the same name for the GCP secret as you have given over here. There's volume mounts and it is volume, so it will mount a GCP secret into this location. So this is how you're gonna expose a service account in a pod, because pod needs to know your service account authentication. Then only it will, when you run something on Kubernetes cluster of GCP, it will take the service account and it will authenticate based on those private keys. So once you have that one, you need to write a command in the script known as the export. Is the same thing that I have done in my local, because once you have a local, you need to export that Google application credential, and this is the locations where it is mounted. So this is exactly same as this. This is the folder one, and that file lives inside that one. So this is the GCP config. So GCP configs comes over here. So once you have tags set up, so these are the Gradle tags, and you can have any tags. Then you need a tags runner. You can create a tags runner, or if you don't want to create a tags runner, you can directly run using a pipeline and pipeline run. So in the we need to create a YAML file of kind pipeline, so that the Tekton knows that this is a pipeline, and you need to give a name and namespace. These are the basic structure and spec of pipeline, so you need to check the previous videos on these things. You can give a descriptions to know what is this pipeline really doing, and in the parameter, because we gonna run this pipeline from pipeline run, and it's gonna expect some parameter to that. So in our case, because we are cloning a repo and we are building a Gradle file and publishing to a GCP artifact registry, so we need to know which is the Bitbucket URL and what is the Gradle image we're gonna use, because there are different versions of Gradle. If you are using Gradle 7, the Docker image of Gradle 7 will be different. In our case, because we are using a latest one, which is Gradle 8, so this will have different image name. So for that purpose it will have, and we have a workspace, because we want to, after cloning, it needs to be on certain locations, and this will tell you where this will be on that locations. So once you have that set up, then we have two tasks. If you see the name and this one, the first one we are saying to git clone. This tags ref is the reference that it is taking. We are saying it to take this reference. If I go back over here and if I check, this is for the Gradle, but in the case of Gradle we will have a Gradle name, but this is a git clone. Now in this scenario I am directly using a git clone from the Tekton hub. So if I go to Tekton hub and come back to here, instead of the Gradle I need to have git, right? So git clone tags is here. So if I check the YAML file of this one, this is the name of this one. Now you can, to install this one, you need to use this command kubectl apply, then the file name. I have done the same thing, so it is been used something like that. So I have referred that git command, because git clone Git clone is the same thing that everyone does, so instead of writing your own tags, I can use from the hub registry. So the first task is our like cloning this one, and we need to put in these locations. Then there are parameters which is coming from the top, which will come from the pipeline range, and every time when you clone that, it will delete an existing and clone the root ones. The same thing goes for Gradle, because I'm referring to Gradle, and in this case I have Gradle in my local because I copied from everything and reference it over here. So I have a name called Gradle and I'm referring that one over here, and I'm saying to run after the git clone only, because we need that code before we do Gradle run, test or publish, because we need that code. So I'm saying run after only the first task. Then we are sharing the same locations, and we are saying on the Gradle you need to clean first, then build, then you need to do test, then publish, and this is one of the URL. Now to run this pipeline, we need to have pipeline run. In the pipeline run, it needs to be a kind of pipeline run kind. Then to Tekton knows this is a pipeline run. So you will have this one, name and namespace. And I'm saying to run this pipeline. Where is the reference? This is the reference. If I go to the pipeline, and if you see the name of this one, ft common, and this is the name of this one, ft common. And this is the pod security, because when you want to clone a repo into a pod location, it need to have some security context, and this is the security context, and this is the locations. Now in the parameter, because I was saying in the parameter I need a repo URL, so I'm saying a repo URL of this one, which is of the Bitbucket, and I'm saying a Gradle image, and this is the Gradle image that I am using. Now there are two concepts, because Bitbucket, because when you clone a repo from a URL, it has to be a SSH key somewhere in this one. So I have created two service accounts. So when you want to clone a repo and you want to publish a repository, you need to have a service account, because your Bitbucket is also needs to be authenticated. You cannot clone without an authentication. For that purpose, I have created two service account, and that service account has a secret of Bitbucket private SSH key. So for same thing goes for the GCP, and I'm referring now. This is one of the specs from the pipeline run. Then because in tags you will have different tags, so I want to say for git clone I need to point to this service account, and for Gradle clean, build and publish I need to point to this service account, because if I go to the pipeline I can say this is the git clone and this is the Gradle clean and publish command. So when I want to run this one, it needs to be take the service account from GCP service account, and when I'm running this one, it needs to be take the service account from Git service account. Now this is the one. So I have set up some SSH key for this one. So if you check the Git service account, this is GCP service account, so you have that you need to download that JSON file and create a secret of type and put your GCP configuration over here, and that service account will hold that one. Same thing goes for the Git. You need to have a private SSH key somewhere, copy and paste over here, and you create a secret of name, and you need to refer for the GCP you need to tell a secret. It needs to take GCP secret, and for SSH for Git you need to take this one. So I have this kind of things. Now I have written a bash command to run all those pipelines and install everything, tags, everything. I'm to destroy it because it lives all inside a fakeyport namespace, and I'm just deleting that namespace. Deleting the namespace will delete all the whatever pipeline tag service account were related to that one. So over here I have created a namespace known as the Fetigbert common, and I am saying to apply a volume, then I have a secret, then service account, then I'm installing a tags of git cloning over here, and I have Gradle tags which is I have created myself, so I'm saying to install, and I'm saying to apply pipeline, and a pipeline run. This is all kubectl command. Now because this I don't want to run individually, so I want to run it all at the same time. So if I check over here, so I can run this, if I do destroy, then if it namespace exits, then it will destroy, because I don't have any namespace installed. So if you go to a dashboard over here, for the namespace, this is the Tekton dashboard where you can see all the things. So I don't have any Fetigbert common namespace over here because it got destroyed, and I don't see any pipeline run and pipeline things. So once I do SS setup of this is the bash command. So it can see I have created one Fetigbert common, and it is creating a volume, then secret, all the service account which I have all written over here. So instead of running one by one, so I've automated this one with batch command, and it is running. So it has been created all the things, and if I now go to this dashboard, I can see the pipelines and pipeline runs are already coming. And if you want to see, I have a namespace of this one, and inside this one I have created one git clone and build and publish. So clone has been done. So if I check this one and go to artifact registry of GCP, because I am saying to publish into this artifact registry. So I have this, you need to create one project, and you don't see any artifact registry over here till at over here, right? So there is no artifact registry published till over here. So if I go to so you can see over here that artifact is not been published till yet. So if I go back to the dashboard of Tekton, so over here it's still doing something, right? It's giving you all the things now. If you check this one, it has taken this Gradle file from here, and it is using 8.2.1, and it is the clean build, and you can see over here it got published, it got successful over here. So once it is get successful, so if I refresh this one now, it is the same thing, it should get published over here. So you can see over here now I have this artifact registry of version 0.0.1, which is one of the code that is inside in the common. So we used to get the same thing that we do. So if you want to install in Maven, you need to do something like that, and in Gradle you need to do something like that. So we used to get this one from Maven repository. Now this time it will be from GCP artifact registry. So this is how we can run a pipeline and publish our licenses. So next time I will create a video where you can modify some kind of code and push to a Git repository, and this pipeline runs automatically once you create pull request or you are merging to a main branch. So we'll show you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel.